Just want to give everybody a little homestead update. I'm up here at my blueberry patch and my grapes are way down there. I see that my blueberries are starting to ripen. This tool didn't hold up very well on this one, but the rest have, surprisingly. There's still no signs of Japanese beetles, so that's awesome. And yeah, I did have one of the toll, I did have one blow off. We had a really bad windstorm come through, and I only had one. And Harper was actually able to grab it before it blew out into the woods, and we'll be able to use that again. This one did not hold up very well though. But as you can see, it's pretty much time to, that almost looks like something was digging, you know, like a bird was picking at that to get to these berries. So it is time to start peeling these back to harvest our berries. Now this tool does not completely stop everything from getting in there, but it does stop the Japanese beetles from landing on here. We have a real problem with those, and it becomes, when you have this much of an orchard and berry patch, it becomes really tedious to try to pick all of those berries off, or all of those beetles off by hand. And the chickens do a pretty good job, but they don't get every last one of them. Now, if you notice, some of these plants we never ended up covering. This one I left bare because this, I believe, is a male blueberry bush. And anytime you plant blueberries, you should always try to have a few different strains of blueberry. I have traditional blueberries, which I don't remember the names of those, but then I also have a pink lemonade type of blueberry. They are my stepdad's absolute favorite, and they are probably our favorite too because they are so sweet, and they don't turn purple or the dark blue color, they turn like a nice pinkish yellow. So those are down there somewhere. But this barely ever gets any kind of berry on it. That leads me to believe that it is a male blueberry bush. And that far one down there I also believe is male. So out of all of these, we only had, I think, 2 that berry and that we weren't able to cover. All of the berries are looking so good. It's so fun to watch them grow too, to see how things cluster and how big the berries get. So this bush is starting to ripen as well. Overall, the berry patch is looking pretty good. We do have way up there, we have a Japanese beetle bag. We have it far enough away that hopefully the beetles will want to go there and not even bother coming down here. This bush is starting to ripen as well. We'll come down here and check out the grapevines. We have grapes. Again, thankful that we beat the beetles. This also will keep the birds from eating a lot of my produce as well. The birds are pretty bad, and even my own chickens, they love to go after all of my fruit. Now these grapevines are only a few years old. My stepdad dug his out and gave them to me. So those are the really thick vines. I think there were 3 of them. There's one there, and that one down there. There's Ruger. He's never far from me, ever. Hi, Betty. Hi. This might be the first year that we actually get grapes. So I'm very excited about that. Ruger's going frog hunting. So it all dried up. Oh, Rugy. Frog pond's all dried up. Another little project that we have tackled here is this little path to our chicken pen. We have this huge wooded area all fenced in for the chickens. I don't know if I've ever really shown this side of the chicken pen. I think that I did a long time ago, but yeah, so this is the chicken gate. Everything we do here is just what do we have laying around that we can fix. Those trellises there, they still need to come out of there. We had a problem with Ruger busting a hole through the fence to get into there. That's why we just started leaving the gate pretty much open so that he can go in and out of the pen as he sees fit, because he was really interested in things in there and there was no stopping him. So I just put those trellises there to keep him from wanting to go through that hole. That still needs repaired. But aside from that, it's just really simple. It's chicken fencing the whole way around. We used some cinder blocks to help hold the bottom of the fencing down because it was popping up. Simple stakes from Tractor Supply, and we also stapled to trees as we went around. There's Storm, our rooster. He's a bantam. He's very little, but he's super obnoxious. What else? We used zip ties at the top. We did do a second layer of the black plastic fencing from Tractor Supply, and we did zip tie together because my birds were just flying out and over the 4-foot chicken fence. So that's pretty much the gist of that. We just have a screw at the top of this and a bungee strap around that tree, and that's all that holds our gate shut. We're just using a rock to prop it open. The new part, and also this is a tailgate cover for my husband's pickup. And so when we have meat birds, if we don't want the meat birds coming out of the pen, we just slide that across. It's very lightweight. The kids can move it themselves. And then all my big chickens can jump up over, and actually there's like a 3 or 4 inch ledge on the top, so they can actually hop up on there and then they can hop down out, and it keeps my meat birds all in the pen, but allows, it keeps Ruger out also, but it allows my actual big chickens to hop over to free range. This is what I've done though. I found some really, really big rocks around the homestead. I just laid them out the best that I can, and then we went and we got a load of the same bark that I put around the house on all of the flower beds, and I've just kind of filled this all in. During fall and spring especially, this area, you can see it's all clay, and it becomes very, very slippery. It gets wet, you track it everywhere, it gets stuck into your boots and into your shoes. It's horrible. So while it was dry, I wanted to get something laid down. I still need to go over there a little bit though. I wanted to get something laid down that when the rains come this fall, it won't hopefully be a disgusting mess up here. So that's my other project that I've been working on outside. So I have the sprinkler on. We have not had very much rain at all. As you saw, Ruger's little frog pond is completely dried up. So I have the sprinkler on. I'm only going to run it about 45 minutes here this morning. But I just wanted to show you how everything is growing here in the garden. I'm going to start on this side because the water isn't hitting it. So I do have 2 rows of lettuce planted. We did ended up using the rototiller to till in between a lot of these things because we weren't able to get bark in time, and things were kind of going to hell in a handbasket out here in the garden. So we just grabbed our little tiller and just started tilling. There's still a lot of weeding that needs done. I very strategically leave things too, so sometimes things look messy, but they're not. For example, we had an entire area of tomatoes grow from last year. We must have forgotten some of the tomatoes when we did the garden clean out last fall. So I just kind of went through those, I weeded them, and I'm just gonna let them go and let's see what kind of tomatoes we get. This is another example. I have all of this beautiful dandelion growing. So I'm just leaving it because that's excellent in a salad. It's excellent for liver health. I have a squash plant, a pumpkin plant. I have cucumbers coming up there. Very randomly, I'll find a sunflower and I just kind of let it be. I have a whole row of sunflowers coming down here. And then over here in the actual garden, things are finally coming to life. I'm gonna try to avoid the water. But we have 3 rows of beans, a row of peppers, 2 rows of tomatoes, 2 rows of onion, 2 rows of carrots, and then we have some beets, and we have some kohlrabi. I did end up pulling out all of my broccoli and cauliflower because it was just nasty. I got it in the ground way too late and it started to bolt because it was too hot. Broccoli and cauliflower really love cold temperatures. So next spring, I know to get my broccoli in the ground basically as soon as the snow melts. But aside from that, everything is coming up beautifully and the garden is starting to look like a garden. Gonna give a little update on all my flower beds here. So I have my butterfly weed or butterfly flower. It is in full bloom, this bright orange color. It is the most amazing thing for pollinators. I always have so many butterflies out here. Bear says, it's time to play, lady. My peonies are all done for the season. I've chopped off all of the buds. And I leave all of the big green bushes because they're just so pretty. And I have some lilies here in bloom. So down here, my lavender is blooming and my hydrangeas are starting to get blossoms finally. Lavender is also amazing for pollinators. I always see bees and little butterflies down here too. And down here in front of the pool deck, if you remember, I planted a bunch of herbs and stuff. I believe this is comfrey. And then I have gladiolas, evening primrose, more comfrey, evening primrose, gladiola, a mystery plant. I think this is comfrey as well. And then this is what the echinacea looks like when it's actually coming into bloom. Some people call that coneflower. I have dill. This, I believe, is mother's wort. And then this is like my little dedicated herb area. So I have basil, marshmallow, I think something. I'm not sure what that is. Sage, thyme, oregano, lavender, chives, oregano, lavender, chives. And then I have chamomile. So that is my little homestead update. I hope everybody is having a fantastic summer so far.